We return with our focus to the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas. The blame game over the Al-Shifa Hospital continues to rage as Israel and Hamas war intensifies in northern Gaza, including near the Strip's largest hospital. The Israel Defense Forces denied claims that the hospital was under siege or that those inside were trapped. In fact, the IDF also has made a safe passage for the transfer of babies to a safer hospital just today.
There has been a lot of misinformation from Gaza today, so I want to clarify the facts. There is no siege, I repeat, there is no siege on the Shifa Hospital. The east side of the hospital is open on El-Wadi Street for the safe pass of Gazans who wish to leave the hospital. We're speaking directly and regularly with the hospital staff. The staff of the Shifa Hospital has requested that tomorrow we will help the babies in the pediatric department to get to a safer hospital. We will provide the assistance needed. And there's something that the world must not forget, and we will not let the world forget it. Hamas has been holding hostages, 239 men, women, children, elderly, and babies. Don't forget babies. For 36 days. This is a crime against humanity, and we will not let the world forget it.
Let's quickly go across to Rishabh, who continues to stay on with us. Rishabh, you know, the IDF has been saying that they have ample proof to suggest that the bombings that the Hamas is blaming Israel for is actually the Hamas is doing, and a direct result of the manner in which they continue to use innocent human beings as shields.
Definitely, the Israeli Defense Forces have been very clear that the bombing that happened near the Al-Shifa Hospital day before yesterday, it wasn't Israel. It was a rocket that was misfired by Hamas, and this is a testament that how the civilian areas are being used by Hamas to counter the land offensive of Israel. Now, remember, after October 7th attack that happened in Israel by the Hamas terrorists, they have been very clear that whatever is happening in northern Gaza is against Israel, and it is a terror activity that is happening there, and we will contest that. And that is how the whole first air bombings and now the ground offensive have begun by Israeli forces. Now, when this Al-Shifa hospital bombing happened, first the Hamas came out with a claim that Israelis are bombing the hospitals and schools. IDF has come up with pictures and footage showing that it wasn't IDF or Israeli Air Force. It was actually the rocket that was fired by Hamas. It got misfired and landed at Al-Shifa Hospital. Okay. And apart from that, since the land offensive have begun, we have seen that footage have come out via IDF that how the kindergartens, mosques, schools, even hospitals and ambulances are being used by Hamas to carry out terror activities in northern Gaza against Israel. And that's the only reason that the non-combatants in Gaza have been asked by Israeli Defense Forces to move southward. And Israel is also claiming that Hamas is not allowing and agreeing for this civilian movement because they want to use these civilians, the non-combatants in Gaza, as human shields.
Besides, IDF maintains that it has continuously given a safe passage to those who want to move southwards of the enclave. Stay on with us, Rishabh. The IDF has also released a 3D animation video showing a network of Hamas structures located inside the Al-Shifa Hospital building and underground as well. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, in fact, says that Hamas terrorists are hiding on the outskirts of the Al-Shifa Hospital and they'll be hunted down. Listen in.
כוחות צה"ל השלימו את כיתור העיר עזה. הם פועלים בלב העיר. הם בפאתי בית החולים שיפה. הם חיסלו אלפי מחבלים, כולל מפקדים בכירים ורבי מרצחים שהיו בין אלה שהובילו את הטבח הנורא הזה באותה שבת ארורה של 7 באוקטובר. החמאס איבד הלכה למעשה את השליטה בצפון הרצועה. אין לו שום מקום בטוח להתחבא בו.
Well, Israel has time and again claimed that Hamas is using hospitals as its terror bases. On 27th October as well, the IDF had released picture of the Al-Shifa complex, claiming that the structure houses underground Hamas command and control center. In fact, in the latest, remember, we've been breaking down details of how it's not just limited to hospitals alone. A kindergarten is also apparently Hamas's headquarters. Israel has released a telephonic conversation between a Gazan citizen and a Hamas terrorist, in which the Hamas operative can be heard bragging about their personal ambulance. In fact, Hamas has seized control of ambulances and uses them as discreet taxis for its terrorists. And in the meanwhile, we've also heard the IDF troops open and secure an evacuation route, like I pointed out, from both Rantasi and Nasser hospitals as well, and an additional route for Gazans moving southward. While they secured the route, armed terrorists approached and fired RPGs. In response, the IDF troops struck the terrorists. Let me quickly go across to Rishabh, who continues to stay on with us. Not just limited to hospitals alone, there are schools, there are also kindergartens which are being misused by the Hamas, and that's what IDF continues to claim by putting out such evidence.
Well, definitely. IDF has been very clear that the civilian establishment, and as I was pointing out, that be it mosque, be it kindergartens or hospitals, and even ambulance, IDF claims that all these civilian establishments are being used by Hamas to operate the terror activities that they are undertaking against Israel. And that is the reason that the ground offensive is happening door to door, as well as tunnel to tunnel, and these civilian establishments as well. When it comes to kindergarten, yes, as you pointed out, there is a telephone recording that has been intercepted by Israeli Defense Forces and have been put out in public. And IDF has claimed that this is a proof that showcases that how Hamas is using civilian establishments to carry out their terror activities.
Let's listen into this proof as the IDF claims, Rishabh. The IDF troops are talking about this conversation between a senior official in the Rantasi hospital and a senior officer. Listen in.
السؤال انه هل الاسعافات ما
اذا مش قادر تحرك السياره وفيش عندك اسعافات كلمني على البدر عشان ابعث لك اسعاف. حمزه شلون؟ يا اخوي ايش صار معك؟ ولا شيء. ابعث لك اسعاف. حمزه شلون؟ يا اخوي ايش صار معك؟ ولا شيء. ابعث لك اسعاف. لا يا اخوي عندي اسعافات قادر اطلع معي اسعاف. يا عمي في اسعافات يجيك ياخذك ينزلك على باب الدار. يا عمي لا انا في اسعافات بتطلع وبتنزل قادر اطلع مع اي اسعاف، بس مشان الفكره. واذا مش قادر تحرك السياره وفيش عندك اسعافات كلمني على البدر عشان ابعث لك اسعاف. حمزه شلون؟ يا اخوي ايش صار معك؟ ولا شيء. ابعث لك اسعاف. لا يا اخوي عندي اسعافات قادر اطلع معي اسعاف. يا عمي في اسعافات يجيك ياخذك ينزلك على باب الدار. يا عمي لا انا في اسعاف. حمزه شلون؟ يا اخوي ايش صار؟
So this is a conversation that the IDF is referring to between an official, a senior official of the hospital, and an official of Israel's COGAT. Many thanks, Rishabh, for that. We're tracking that closely. On this other side, we return with more news updates.